Started yet. But listen, we're gonna break down this short clip, this short video, how successful people actually network and why it looks boring. If you know my story, you know I've been in multiple businesses, started off on neuroscience track, gonna get my PhD, and I made a pivot. Obviously, I'm from Jamaica, grew up on the East Coast, and entrepreneurship runs in our family. And as of now, I'm being mentored by an individual who's done seven figures in sales on a monthly base, helping a lot of individuals do six figures themselves, not to mention quitting their job. And I moved from the East Coast, Virginia, all the way to Indiana, small town Indiana. And what I'm going to share with you isn't theory, okay? This is what I've seen him do day in and day out, regardless. And what I realize is my uncle owns a cybersecurity company after he left the Marines, done some multiple millions. I called him one day and I was like, hey, I was trying to get some advice on something. And he was like, no, I have a meeting to sign $1 million contract with the DoD. And what I realized was there's patterns. There are patterns. There's patterns. So I want to break down how successful people actually network and why it looks boring. You gotta master the boring stuff. See, because people imagine successful networking as charisma. I know I got a lot of charisma, right? When you think of charisma, you think of me, right? But listen, it's not just charisma, it's not introductions, it's not being great in rooms. That's rarely what it looks like. I promise. That's rarely what it looks like. In reality, most high leverage relationships, they don't start with extreme intention. They start with overlap. What do I mean? First, we got to break down the misconception. We got to shake up your mindset. I like to say your mind was dirty and it needed washing. That's why it's called brainwashing. If your body's dirty, if your car is dirty, you get them a washing. Here's the misconception. The first misconception is that people copy the visual behaviors of successful people, the dinners, the invites, the insider conversations, but they miss what came first. They miss the cause. They see the effect, but they miss the cause. See, those relationships were built long before they ever looked useful. See, what successful individuals actually do is they spend time in consistent environments, the same clubs, the same workspaces, the same projects, the same small circles. They see the same people repeatedly without pressure to perform. When I got to small town Indiana, we would go to the same food spot every doggone day. We walk in, we don't even have to ask an order. They just give us the regular. We're talking about their family, we're talking about their wearing, we're talking about their engagement. First name basis. We're showing pictures of our kids. I don't have any kids, but you know. See, trust forms quietly through familiarity. How someone thinks, how they respond under stress, how they treat others when nothing's at stake. None of that can be rushed. It can't. And that's why it feels boring because there's no pitch, there's no agenda, there's no urgency. They're playing chess, not checkers. We're playing chess, not checkers. You and me, you and I, however you want to say it. And that's exactly why the defenses stay down. The relationship grows before anyone even asks for anything. See, if you really want to network the way successful individuals do, you gotta build the value just by being a go-giver. We're always talking about being a go-getter. Hustle, hustle, hustle. You don't want to hustle. You want to move into alignment. Align. It's called praxis, meaning you integrate your thoughts, you integrate your behavior, you integrate your feeling so that you attract the right type of individuals who are on the same thought frequency as you. You got to plant a seed in everybody. See, if you're looking for opportunity, you're really looking for ways to give. That's all we do. We wake up every day looking for ways to add value. John Maxwell says it best. Every day I ask myself 5 questions. And one of the 5 questions is, how can I add value today? You don't go out to network. You network when you're out. See, networking is less about the behavior and it's more about an attitude. It's more about mindset. How do you look at people? The people behind you in line, the people in front of you when you're driving, the people at the gas station. Change that perception and give yourself the task of every day, I'm going to collect 2 new friends. I am a friend collector. Watch your network change. See, successful people don't network better. They simply stay close enough to the same people long enough for trust to form. Their reach, their web is so doggone wide that they just be themselves, but the proximity is just much larger. So what looks boring from the outside is usually what's doing the real work. That's why we win.